get someone to want to spend time with you. Is there a special person right now that you want to spend more time with you? Maybe this is someone that you want to be in a relationship with, or maybe it's just a crush that you've never really gotten to know on a personal level. It could be someone that you work with that you really want to date. It could also be someone who broke up with you and you just want to spend some time with them so that you can move on towards reconciling and starting a brand new relationship. This video is all about how to get someone to want to spend as much time with you as possible by using concepts of the law of attraction. This can be any situation, any circumstance. In fact, the obstacles that are currently standing in your way are not very important because there is a solution to every problem. And I'm going to teach you today exactly how to get someone to want to spend time with you, to want to. Not for you to want to spend time with them and them to reject you, but rather for them to make the effort to show you that they want to spend time with you and to have you spend as much quality time together as possible. Okay, so if you are new to my channel, I am Veronica, and today I am filming in Ozark National Forest in lovely Arkansas. I'm so happy to be sitting with you today in this lovely natural setting and showing you exactly what you need to do to get this person to spend as much time with you as possible, to want to spend time with you, because you deserve that. If you've been craving this and feeling desperate for it and needing it, well, this video is going to give you all of the answers you need to make it happen. Again, these are using the concepts of the law of attraction. So if you are new to it, check out some of my other videos to get an idea as to what this is, how to make it work for your life. It's totally transformed my life, so I know it can help you in the same way. And I love making videos, shouting this knowledge to the moon, and help others transform their lives because I completely turned mine around. If you'd like to learn more about me or check out my coaching packages, veronicaisles.com. Okay, so let's get to the good stuff. So the way you are going to attract having this person spend as much time as possible with you is to prepare the way for that very thing to happen. So we're going to start placing more focus on this idea of having them spend time with you, as opposed to placing focus on the frustration that you are not currently spending time together. Yes, I know your current moment is probably lacking time spent with this person. And you may have even been trying to prompt them by sending them text messages, trying to invite them to clever places, trying to get their attention. And if none of these things have been working, it's because you've been coming from a place of lack. Doing physical things, doing external things, only signifies the idea that you think you have to prompt them to want to spend time with you. Instead, we want to prepare the way for this idea of them already wanting to spend time with you and deciding exactly what that looks like and how that looks. So what I want you to do is physically write down a list. We're going to prepare the way for this person to want to spend time with you. We're going to use a technique called scripting. Scripting is basically where you just write things down that you want to have happen. I'm going to give you a specific formula that you can use to attract spending as much time as possible with this person in a way that you can script this in order to get the best results possible. So the first thing you're going to do is write down a location where you could actually be spending time with this person. So what we're trying to do is make this as real and vivid in our imagination. A lot of times we tend to harp on fear scenarios or disappointments and analyze those. But in this exercise, we're actually going to use our creative energy to overly analyze what it looks like to spend time with this person. Because I doubt you've been doing enough of this, because if you were doing this already, you'd actually already be spending time with them. So this works kind of by default. You prepare the way, you put it out there that you want these things, you let it happen, and it comes to you every single time. So tell me, where is a place where you would like to spend time with this person? I'll give you some examples of places that you could pick. You could pick a nice walk in the park. You could pick an evening of watching Netflix together or some sort of streaming service, and you're watching it together with them at their place. You could pick a lovely little lunch. You could even pick getting takeout if you want to bring food back to your place. You could also imagine going to a shop and picking out a nice bottle of wine to share and to talk together and to get to know one another, or maybe to reconcile, or maybe just to bond, to connect. So I want you to pick an actual tangible place that you can imagine, that you can script, that you can write down, where we are going to prepare the way that you are going to spend time with this person. Because it's one thing to say, I want to spend time with this person, and it's another thing to say, I want to spend time with this person sipping a nice bottle of wine on their couch, in their living room, cozying up together by a nice fire. You see the difference? One engaged in many different details, and one was just kind of flat. It just kind of said words without an emotional connection. But when I added those details, I formed an emotional connection to it. And that's why scripting is so potent, it's so powerful. Because when we write down things, when we script, we connect all of our senses, we connect our imagination, we connect all of our creativity towards the idea of this experience actually happening. So what I want you to do is I want you to write down either one of the things that I suggested, or come up with something of your own. But you're going to pick an actual place where you want to spend time with this person. Now, what I want you to do is make this the start of many. You can make up to 10 different locations. You could do this once per day, every single day, until it actually starts happening. The point is, we're going to overly harp on the good stuff, as opposed to analyzing to death and micromanaging and fearing and worrying and putting all of that negative energy towards the things we don't want, the things that are currently frustrating us. Instead, we're going to overly imagine, we're going to indulge, we're going to create in the things we really want. So for each location, I want you to pick it apart into a gazillion different pieces. Because that's kind of what we tend to do when we're afraid of something, or if something disappoints us. We approach it from so many different angles, and we just go on and on and on and on. Well, now you're going to go on and on and on and on in the right way. So tell me, what are you going to wear? Do you have that outfit already? If you're a woman, are you going to wear makeup? Are you going to wear earrings? If you're a man, are you going to wear a certain kind of cologne? What does your facial hair look like if you're a man? What does your appearance look like for when you're going to spend time with this person? Here's another one. What time of day is it? For example, if you're watching Netflix, are you getting together in the afternoon, or are you getting together in the evening? Are you potentially staying over at this person's place? We're going to script, and we're going to answer these questions for every single scenario. And like I said, you could do 10 at once, you can do 1 per day, you can do whatever you like. But I want you to start getting into the habit of preparing the way for what you actually want, as opposed to harping on the things that currently frustrate you in this moment. So another thing to script is after this meeting happens, after you spend quality time with them, who's the first person you tell? Are you going to come back to this video and say it worked, and say I just spent 3 hours with my crush on the couch sipping wine just like Veronica suggested? Or are you going to tell your best friend, I finally got to spend time with my ex and we're getting back together? Are you going to tell your mother that you just got to know your crush better? You know, the guy that you've been crushing on at your work? Who do you tell? So for each example, I want you to write down what you're wearing, what time of day it is, who you tell afterwards, how it makes you feel. You could pick the time of day. You could pick, what time of year it is, what things smell like. Let's engage every single sense. Let's truly engage our imagination in all of these hypothetical scenarios, almost like you're an author, because you really are the author of your life. You really are drawing experiences from this type of imagination. You're just usually doing it unknowingly and basing things on your fears and your past disappointments. So what happens is you never break out of that cycle. You just keep manifesting by default from like a lazy place, from all of your past disappointments. And I used to do this. I used to base what was possible in the future from what I had experienced in the past. But what is possible in the future can be anything. It can be brand new. And we are scripting having this person spend as much time with you as possible. Another interesting thing that you can add to each of these scripting scenarios is what this person says to you. Do they say, I can't live without you, I want to spend as much time with you as possible, when are we getting together again? That's a good one. Afterwards, for example, after you part, do they immediately send you a text and say that I'm missing you already? What do they say? What do they do? How do they react? You can write down their facial expressions, their gestures, things that they said. And again, we're just creating. And the tense that you use, you can write it as a story, you can write it in the past tense, write it in whichever way makes you happy. So come from a very creative standpoint and let things just flow. And after you write down these scenarios, you can go back and reread them if you like, or you can just let them be. You can set them aside. And the amazing thing about scripting is coming back to read something that happened exactly the way you had prepared the way for. The trick to getting it to work is to engage your imagination, engage your creativity, be very specific, engage all of your senses, just kind of let that creativity flow. And then you just kind of let it be. You don't act needy for it. These are things that you want, but you're not desperate for it. You allow it to come into your life at the right time. And this is a wonderful way to draw things into your life, to attract things. Again, in this example, we are attracting this person to want to spend as much time with you as possible, in as many different ways as possible. So let's really start taking a look at what this physically looks like. What are the details involved? And this idea of things that this person could say. So I want you to be as detailed as possible. Don't say to yourself, well, I don't want to write this down because what if it doesn't happen? What I always say to that is, well, what if it did? What exactly do you have to lose? You have to put it out there first before you can even have a hope of experiencing it. Like if you don't let yourself indulge in imagination, it's not going to show up in your actual life. It's just not. So again, attracting someone to spend as much time with you as possible, to spend all of their time with you. We're going to write down what it looks like, what it feels like, what you are wearing, what you are feeling like, what time of day it is, what the weather is like. And don't think from a logical perspective. For example, if you want to see them next week, don't research the weather and imagine that you have to get the weather report just right. Instead, just dream it up. Have it rain, or have you get trapped in a thunderstorm together, and have you be making out in the car together, like something beautiful like that. I want you to be as outlandish as possible. And again, you could do a different one every day until they start to happen, or you could just do one and set it aside and live your life. All of those different scenarios work. It works through creative energy, creative flow, allowing things to happen, and to just enjoy it. So pretend that you're a small child engaging with your imagination before all of the baggage of adulthood comes in. Let's create fresh, let's create new, and let's be bold and bright and creative, and watch how it'll happen. So if this technique does work for you, please leave a comment below and shout it to the moon. I love to answer your questions too, so feel free to ask them below. Give me feedback, tell me what kind of videos you want to watch, and do help support my channel by hitting the subscribe button. And I love to make videos for you, and I hope all of your dreams come true.